The day before or the day after it happened, it took the whole town. Nothing but
San Marcial?
just before you, on the other side of TRC, before you get to El Paso.
And what was he doing there?
I guess he had family there. He says, I went over there. He couldn't remember if he had gone the day before or the day after it happened. I don't know what he...
Yeah, because on some of the census records, I see that name, Marcial.
It was a town and there was nothing but...
And so there's relatives from a long time ago that were born there. I'm finding that in some of the birth certificates and baptism and stuff. Huh. That's why I was wondering how Grandma and Grandpa met, because she was born in Ascension, and then I have a picture of your dad, Tranquilino, and Pedro.
Where did you say my mother was born?
In Ascension.
Where?
Ascension
Chihuahua.
in Chihuahua. And then, but then there's a picture of your dad and her dad, Pedro. Isn't her dad Pedro? A zapateria in Las Cruces. So I don't know when they lived in Las Cruces where Pedro and Tranquilino would have been together.
Not to my knowledge, she told me that they came from Ascension to Las Cruces. And Grandpa used to build little houses and sell them.
In Las Cruces?
Well, she did. I imagine there. I don't know anything else. But
When you say Grandpa, her father?
her dad,
Pedro.
yeah. And then after a while, they moved from there to Magdalena. So she grew up in Magdalena.
And that's where she met
Grandpa.
Okay. And he was working at a ranch, the Garcias. And wasn't it the Garcia?
He was working right next to the... My mom was a nanny to this family Garcia. And my dad was working in the next house to Don Pancho. And that's where they met.
Oh, okay.
In Magdalena.
Okay. And then isn't it the Garcias who they somehow sold cattle out from under your dad, and he lost a lot of cattle or something?
What Dad told me that again,
That was Uncle Juan.
Dad and my Uncle Juan had a small herd. The hoof and mouth disease moved in, and they were killing all the cattle, and they were giving them 25 cents for each cow that was put under. He says that's all they got out of it. And after that,
The way my dad lost his cattle, Uncle Juan, a guy from Mexico came and bought it from him and gave him a bad check. So they lost their money.
I don't know about that, but he did tell me about the hoof and mouth disease.
Yeah, because I heard about that too, Uncle Jimmy, from a relative who was married to Andres Garcia, or
Baca, my uncle.
yeah, Andres Baca, and her name was Tanda, and we used to do email back and forth, and we figured out we were related through Andy Baca, who was her husband's father, I think, and they lived in Oklahoma at the time. But
Her name was Mary.
Mary and Andy?
Andy, and they lived in Oklahoma.
Yeah, so she's the one that told me about what you just said, that somehow they gave him a bad check and he lost his cattle.
They bought the cattle and paid them with a bad check.
Yeah.
And then they lost the money they had trying to get the check good, and they never got it.
And that was your dad's cattle.
That's well, it was my uncle's and my dad.
And that was in a Tarque, wasn't it?
No, it was Magdalena.
Oh, it was in Magdalena?
another thing that he told me after they killed the cows, that my dad and Uncle Juan started another little herd, and that somehow Uncle Juan took it away from Dad. Some way that came out with nothing. I don't know. That's all he told me. See, I used to go every morning when I was working, about half an hour I'd leave early from the house and I'd go to the grandma's and Dad's and Grandpa's house, and I'd visit and they'd tell stories and I asked questions. So a lot of this that I heard is what they told me.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, I just heard a lot of stories about people taking people's sheep and cattle, you know. There was a lot of people stealing their sheep and stealing their cattle, and
Well, I imagine that's still going on today.
That's still happening.
That's still going on today.
yeah.
Tell you what, over there you find a shop for